Hey, baby girls, welcome back to Latina Money Diaries. This episode is going to be a little bit different. So, last year, I went on social media telling people not to celebrate Halloween, but I never really said why. So, today, I'm opening up about what I've learned, what I believe, and why my family completely steps away from it. Not out of fear, but out of faith and peace. And yes, we're going to talk about how it all connects back to our finances because, baby girls, distraction just steals your focus and it steals your money too. So get your cafecito and let's get going. All right, baby girls, let's get real. Halloween isn't just another holiday. Spiritually, it's one of the darkest nights of the year. While the world calls it fun or harmless, it's actually a night that carries a lot of spiritual weight. Witches, satanic groups, and all these who practice occult spend all year preparing for this one night. Because spiritually, this is when the veil between the natural and the spiritual world is at its thinnest. Darkness operates more freely, and most people have no idea what they're entertaining. I'm not saying this to scare you, baby girls. I'm saying this to inform you. The Bible tells us that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, and he'll use anything that looks innocent to do it, even candy and costumes. So there are real curses spoken over these candies and decorations. And when people bring that into their home, thinking it's just for fun, they're unknowingly inviting spiritual things that don't belong there. The same way you protect your home physically, you have to protect it spiritually too. And honestly, I do this every single time I feel someone is trying to attack me. I pray over my home. I worship to Christian music and I talk to God and I let Him know that thank you for protecting my home. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for carrying me. I thank Him in every way possible that I can because at the end of the day, I always have food on the table. I always have a roof over my head, and my daughters are always, but always healthy. And that's what I thank him for. And then I go and pray about other things, but I always thank him. So let's get into it. Now, let's talk about the financial side of all this because Halloween isn't just a spiritual warfare, it's a financial warfare too. The average family spends hundreds of dollars every October. Costumes, candies, parties, decorations, all for one night. And then come November 1st, boom, it's gone. The candy's in the trash, the costumes are stuffed in the closet, and the money's gone too. And don't get me wrong, I used to do this too. So let me backtrack a little bit. I grew up in a Catholic household. I am no longer Catholic. However, I grew up in a Catholic household with a single mom. So my mom did not allow us to celebrate Halloween in any way, shape, or form. So imagine being a child that doesn't understand why she can't celebrate Halloween like all her friends that do celebrate it. And they go to school with costumes, but I'm not allowed to wear a costume. I'm not allowed to go trick or treating and do all this stuff that the normal child does growing up. And year after year, so disappointing to know that I'm not able to do that. And I didn't understand why. I never got explained in a way that I would understand as to why I wasn't able to celebrate it. My mom would just tell me, like, you can't celebrate it, that's the devil. Okay, but why? I was a very curious kid. I always needed to know why, and I hate it. I hate it when someone would tell me, you'll know when you grow up. You'll find out when you're older. I'm like, no, 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 no. I want to know why. I want to know why right now. And I hate it when somebody would tell me that. But anyway, that honestly, that's how the enemy works, baby girl. Distraction. He'll make you spend money on things that bring no peace, no purpose, and obviously no blessing. It's not just Halloween either, it's a mindset. We do it all year with little things, with sales, with trends, and I'm a victim too. coffee. I love exploring new coffee places, and I absolutely hate it when it's $8, $9, and it's not even good. Like, why do you do this to yourself, Itzel? Why are you doing this? You know you love your coffee from the same places. You already know your favorite drinks. You already know that you order the same damn thing every single time. Why do you go and explore? Yeah, they look really good and yeah, they're also emptying my bank account. So I am also putting myself in this position where it's a distraction for me to go get coffee because I want to try other places and I want to support local businesses. Anyway, that's the way it is. That's the system that's designed to keep you broke and busy, spending your blessings instead of building them. And this is where the discernment matters. Every time you spend without intention, you're feeding a distraction. But when you use that same energy to save, invest, or give, that's when you start walking in purpose. I know it's not easy, especially when Halloween is everywhere: schools, stores, TV, your neighborhoods, and even at some churches. And honestly, it bothers me so much that these churches do trunk or treat because you're still feeding that same energy. Why don't you do fall festival? Why don't you change the name? Why don't you do it before the week or weekend of Halloween? Why don't you do it after? Why do you have to call it trunk or treat? Why do you have to feed into this thing? Why don't you call it, hey, on October 31st, let's all celebrate life? Let's worship harder than any other day because this is the day that the devil wants to attack. That's what I'm talking about. Why don't that day we celebrate? Oh, let's baptize people that day. Let's get that devil out of them that day. Like, why don't we do that? Why aren't we focusing on that? I know, as I said, this podcast is going to be a little bit different. And I hate that I'm going where I'm going because a lot of you are not going to like this episode because I'm so against it. Like, I don't know if you can hear the anger in my voice, but just talking about it and the fact that I have to talk about Halloween, it upsets me. But unfortunately, a lot of us were not taught. We were not taught about this. They didn't teach us how bad it is. Nobody told us. Nobody gave us anything. I had to research and research and research about all this information. I didn't celebrate it at some point. It's not like this is my first year not celebrating it. This is probably, so I didn't celebrate it from the time I was born to the age of 18. And then I just went wild and I celebrated 18, 19, 20, all my 20s, up until 2022, maybe 2021. I think was the last year that I celebrated it. And I was not that I was forced to celebrate it because I lived in a very united neighborhood where they would do a lot of events, and I gave in that day for those years 2019, 2020, and 2021 to go trick-or-treating, to go to give candy and to do all this thing because I wanted to fit in, and I felt guilty every single time. But not anymore. I'm standing my ground, and I am doing this with a purpose. In my home, I'm very clear about what we allow. We don't watch scary movies, horror shows, or anything demonic, not even for fun. Because I truly believe those things invite the same darkness you think you're just watching. You can't fill your mind with fear and expect peace to live there. So, in our family, we've learned to focus on peace. Instead of following the crowd, we choose gratitude, prayer, and light. We talk to our daughter about standing firm in our values because not everyone that's fun is good for us. And when we were transitioning to not celebrating Halloween, she would ask me why. And I explained to her why. Because I didn't want for her to have the same confusion that I had at her age. And now she doesn't fight me about it. She's 10 years old and she can care less for Halloween. And then I used to be like, okay, we won't feed into the Halloween thing, but I'll buy you candy. And then we also stopped that. So I told her what I've learned. To me, that candy is still negative energy bringing it home. So we don't even do candy anymore. Um ac- Actually, we don't even acknowledge that day, to be honest. So that's just what we do. We do family nights. We cook dinner together. We pray. We watch uplifting movies because, baby girls, when you fill your home with light, darkness has no room to stay. And I say this, I don't know how to explain it, but that's just the type of energy that we have in this household. And this has been just recently. I have been changing my focus in a lot of ways, and I've learned a lot throughout that process. But instead of spending money on something that celebrates fear and death, invested in something that celebrates life. For example, I bought myself a Bible back in May. I was looking for a Bible the beginning of the year. I was starting to change my mindset to be different the beginning of the year. I said I wanted this year to be different. I wanted to change a lot of things. And one of the things was for me to read the physical Bible and have one. I read the Bible every day through the app, and I've done that for years. But sometimes my soul is not on fire. Like I don't feel like it touches me or it moves me or it changes me. Yes, I read it, but it's just a little quote, and I need more than just a little quote. Like feed me something that will put my soul on fire for Jesus. And I wasn't getting that. So at the beginning of the year, I started looking for a Bible, and I found a church that sells Bibles. And on their website, they didn't have the times where the store was open for me to buy a Bible. So I kept looking around and looking for a place where they would sell Bibles. And for one reason or another, I wasn't able to get one. That was actually what I wanted for my birthday, which my birthday is in February, and I couldn't find one. And just, I mean, on top of me having a whole life that I'm always busy, I never found one. So one day we were heading back to Texas from Missouri, and I finally found a place where I can look for a Bible that I like with my taste and get one. So I stopped and I was asking a lot of questions, and I finally got the Bible, and I was so excited. And my Bible is right next to my nightstand, and I love it. But this was like back in May that I finally got it. It took me what, like almost half a year, but it finally got done. But anyway, once you start shifting your focus, baby girls, you'll feel it. There's more peace, more purpose, more clarity, and that's when you know you're walking in alignment. And I'm not talking about just with this Halloween thing going on, but I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about your life, your finances, especially. I've no longer cared about brands or anything that doesn't bring purpose in my life. If you guys know me, I used to love shopping and have the latest things and buy all kinds of stuff. And I'm talking about years ago, if you've known me for years. If you've known me in the past, I would say, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, maybe. No, not 10. 10 stretching it. But maybe the last, I don't know, 7 years. I really don't care about anything to buy any kind. I don't know if I just matured, but okay, so maybe since I got closer to God, which I converted in 2013, I don't care about a lot of stuff. In 2013, I got rid of all my purses, and I had about 30 of them. and they were all brand trending purses at the time. I got rid of all of them. And then at that point, I also started losing weight and I got rid of a lot of my clothes. And I don't know, I just got rid of a lot of stuff. I had watches, purses, shoes. I mean, I had so much stuff. And I just started decluttering. I started decluttering my life mentally, physically, emotionally, and it changed me. But I feel like the older I get recently, the more I don't care about stuff. Like, I remember upgrading my phone to the newest phone every year. I haven't done that in, like, again, about 6, 7, 8 years. Um, One thing I will tell you, this is something that I do keep, and this is just to upkeep myself, is I do my nails once every 2 months, and my nails and pedicure once every 2 months, and also my um waxes every 6 weeks. So like my eyebrows and my underarms, that is all taken care of every 6 weeks. So other than those two things, I don't do anything. I don't do Botox, I don't do um I don't know, lashes, microblading. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. Those are the only two things that I do to upkeep myself, and that's because I don't know how to do them myself. And if you know me, my nails don't grow very long. I always bite them. So I like my long nails. And when I let them grow, they're very thin. So, anyway, I am getting so out of what I'm talking about. So, that is my main thing that I wanted to talk about when it comes to Halloween. I don't celebrate it. I don't encourage anybody to celebrate it. And at the end of the day, I just want this episode to be more informative, so to speak. Because, like I said at the beginning, last year, I did talk about, for people not to celebrate it, I did put it all over my social media. And a lot of my Facebook friends did ask me, like, why? Why don't you want to celebrate it? Why are this? Why are that? And it's a spiritual warfare. At the end of the day, it's a spiritual warfare. And it's not talked about it enough. And last year, when people asked me, since I did it, I talked about it the day of, which was October 31st. Don't do this, don't do that. Like, protect yourself, pray about it. Everybody asked me why, and not to make an excuse, but I wasn't ready for that feedback, and I didn't want to explain myself on November 1st. I don't want to bring the negativity to the next month. So I chose not to answer and not to reply to anything, but I'm here now and I'm explaining why people shouldn't celebrate it. I mean, you can do what you want. I'm just saying you can't play both sides of the field. Either you're wanting to be godly and you want to follow the word of God and you want to protect yourself, or you want to walk on the other side. If we're not educated, then this is exactly what this is about. It's not just a holiday. And a lot of people are going to tell me, but Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter, they're all pagan holidays or something like that. I don't know. They could be, and you might be right. What I'm saying is that this holiday in particular focuses on the evil and darkness of it all. I don't think that Easter or Valentine's Day focuses on that, or Christmas. I'm not knowledgeable enough to talk about it, so I don't want to get into that conversation. But I do want to say this. If you are celebrating Halloween and you don't know why you're celebrating it, what's behind it, I would recommend you to do some research behind it before you celebrate it and see it as something so innocent as just getting dressed up. Because that's what I thought too. I was there as well. I thought it was just something innocent, and it's really not. It's really not. And it's just darkness around that day. And honestly, I do believe in that. Just because I do believe that God exists, and I do believe in his peace and everything that he brings in my life. I'm a living proof that he's done wonders in me and my family. So I also believe it's bad. And I also believe that at times the devil is trying to attack me. And I know when he's doing that. And that's the worst part. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing because I know now that it's the devil trying to attack me, but I also understand that I have God on my side. So he can try to attack me all day long, but because I already know it's the devil that's trying to attack me, I run to Jesus Christ. I run to God and I let him know this is what's going on, and I understand this and this and this and da 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 da, and I go on and on and on and on and on. And once I start doing that and speaking, and basically, once I start rebuking, I know that it works because I can feel it. And when I am closer to God, there's days that I am and there's days that I'm not. And when I'm not, I have to realign myself and I'm not feeling well. I'm not this, I'm not that. I love that he never leaves my side. Like, never. Financially, spiritually, emotionally, he's always there. So I say this because I want you to understand that he's always there for you too. Whether you believe in him or not, that's between you and him. Between me and him, I believe him. We ride and die together. And when I feel the spirit attacking me, I run to him every time because I know when it's trying to attack me. And I know the people that are trying to do bad stuff to me. I know that. I know who it is. He tells me who it is that's trying to do bad stuff to me because I ask him and he gives me that answer every time. And I also know that they listen to my podcast because he tells me that too. So they can try to attack me all day long. At the end of the day, I am still covered by his grace. I am so out of what finances and Latina Diaries talks about. However, before I close the episode, did want to let you all know I am going to be a guest speaker speaking more into this. If you like this episode and you appreciate it, I will soon be sharing where I'm going to be a guest speaker at another podcast that has to do with a lot of faith and nothing to do with finances. And speaking of alignment, next week we are going to be talking about one of the biggest financial lessons of life, and that is purchasing a home. One of the biggest investments any of us will ever purchase. And baby girls, the journey was a whole test of patience and faith when I purchased my home. I'm going to be talking about my experience in finances, in the mortgage process, and how it humbled me so quick. I learned that who you choose as a realtor can make or break your experience. And a loan officer makes a huge difference. And I have proof. I have my approval letters from 2018. Yes, my approval letters from 2018 have two completely different numbers and two different loan officers. So next week, we're diving into the home buying journey and what I wish I knew before signing and how faith played a huge part in all. You don't want to miss it. I wanted to open this part. If you ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if I have any gentlemen listen to me, but if anyone has any question as far as the experience or any questions about mortgage, for you guys to let me know. Also, I believe I will be switching my days. Instead of Tuesdays, I'm going to do Thursdays because I feel Thursdays are more consistent to me. And Tuesdays, I have a lot going on Tuesdays. I have Bible study in the morning, and then my daughter has cheer practice in the afternoon. So I am not able to be letting you guys know that my podcast is live that day because I have so much going on. Because if I am not able to let you guys know Monday, I don't want to just break it to you and be like, we're live. I want to let you guys know a few days before, and a few days before is the weekend. And I know you guys on the weekend are not going to listen to my podcast. You guys listen to my podcast when you're driving, when you're doing something that is a daily routine. And on the weekends, there is no routine. I know that because I myself don't have a daily routine on the weekends. But during the week, they look normally pretty similar every single day. Thank you so much for listening, baby girls. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe right now, like right now. Subscribe, follow, and share with your amigas so you never miss an episode. I know this one's a little bit different. However, most of them will focus on finance. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I have my Facebook, I have my Instagram, I have my YouTube now. So if you guys have any questions, I think my email is also on all my social media. It's latinamoneydiaries@gmail.com. So if you guys have any questions, don't be ashamed to ask me. I am not going to judge you. I probably have been where you've been before. Like, I came from nothing. If you haven't listened to the previous episodes, I came from nothing, zero. So I am not going to be judging you. I am not one to judge. Like, I'm not God to be judging. So I'm not going to judge you or anything. That's not my place. That's not my job. My job is to help you. That is my job. God has put a lot of opportunities that I'm here to help. The questions that you have, go ahead and ask. It doesn't even have to do about mortgage. Any questions that you have and I'm able to answer, I'm going to answer. If I don't know, I will be honest with you and tell you that I don't know, but I can find out if I can. Let me close this episode. It's been way too long. I wanted to let you guys know before I close this episode, money doesn't have to control you. You control it. And I'm going to be here every week walking this journey with you. Gracias for listening, baby girls, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Bye.